Hey guys, Tanna here with another Lost Ark video. Okay guys, not gonna lie, this video was late. Really late. I actually planned this more than a week ago and had to scrap most of what I planned and redo the whole thing. Anyway, I also decided to remove a lot of it, and here's what it is. Timestamp included as usual, of course. Also, this week, WoW has some new content released, so players are going back, and of course, Elden Ring is out today as well. So yeah. Okay, so anyway, in the background, I'm actually queuing to get inside the game. It's the weekends, prime time, so some queue is expected. All good. So okay, I'm just gonna put this in the background for right now. So okay, let's continue. When I was preparing for this video last week, I had already put in 50 hours, and now, boom, more than 100 hours played. So safe to say, I play about 50 hours, more or less a week, which is considered very little for someone with too much time on hand. But if you're working or schooling, then maybe it's a lot. I don't know. I have been no-lifing the heck out of this game since the official launch, but I did went out a couple of times to touch some grass, have some proper meal, or two, thankfully. Why am I telling you this? Because this 200 ms isn't stopping me or affecting me as much as I initially thought I would. Otherwise, I would have quit long ago due to the lag or whatsoever, high ping, etc. So kind of just trying to justify why am I saying so much crap, right? As you can see here, I gotta pause and get into the queue until I continue this video. So be right back, guys. Well, as you can see here, I already have 3 characters, only had my main last week when I was working on this video. I'm actually also planning to do maybe one more this week or 2. I don't know, probably only 1. I'm becoming what you call an altaholic, which to be fair is highly encouraged in this game. Heck, I think even if you put the same number of hours and plan accordingly, stagger the rest bonus. They actually have this rest bonus thing going on in the game. You probably get much more than with just playing with your own main. But that's for another topic, a video or whatever. With that being said, I'm gonna explain in more details my 2 weeks experience in Lost Ark as a C player, particularly in 200 ms ping. This is actually who this video is catered for. RC players playing in NA West. Okay, some of you are actually playing in EU as well. It could be a different experience, with the queue and whatnot. I started the same time as most players, even though I did buy the Bronze Founders Pack. I kind of wasted the 3-day start because I was making gacha games video instead of playing Lost Ark. Okay, obviously I would choose this instead if given a choice, but right now it doesn't matter. So it's been exactly 2 weeks since I started playing Lost Ark. I got the month sub with 2 cute cats. Initially they only have 1, but they give like extra rewards. So I'm kind of regretting not getting the best Founders Pack. I think it's like the $99 one. But I'm not sure right now. That comes with the Cerberus mount, which is like an insane price in the market right now, I'm sure. But then again, it's also my style, since I try my best to make more free-to-play related videos. But in this game, there's a lot of different opinions on the pay-to-win aspect. Right now, it doesn't matter. Okay, so for servers, I kind of want to go to the main screen, but there's actually a queue. So I'm just gonna stay right here in my screen. So first thing I want to briefly talk about are servers. Okay, so it's generally agreed that EU servers are physically closer to RC players and therefore better ping, which kind of makes sense, right? But in Lost Ark, for the past 2 weeks, ever since launch, the bad review bombs on Steam mostly comes from EU players, and that's not because the game is shit or anything, but the servers itself. Most of them can't even play or had to queue for hours just to get into the game, and that honestly is unacceptable for any online games whatsoever. Me personally, playing at the most popular server in NA West, Beltan, has little to no issue with the queue at all. The longest was last Saturday, which I believe I had like 7,000 queue. So I went to Tapao, bought some lunch, came home and got into the game. So about 30 minutes or so queue time. So like when I started recording, I think it's like maybe 10-15 minutes queue for like 3,000 players. So on the weekend during prime time, I'm not sure how EU are gonna be playing. I don't have a character there. I also heard that it's a problem for NA East players, so like New York side game. They probably have like more people than some of the states in the West combine or something. I don't know. We don't actually live there. And then second thing to note could be language barrier. If you don't care what language people are communicating in, then great. Just be aware if you want to do Abyss dungeons, okay? So somehow or rather you still have to care about the language, which is probably the hardest content we have right now that's released. If you don't have 3 other friends to do this regularly, then you most likely gotta stick with your guild or pucks, random players, which then you probably need to communicate again, especially in Abyss dungeons. So if you pick EU, most likely you want to pick something like Xenavale or Kadan for high pop English speaking servers. I think Esther, Neria, and Trixion has more EU speaking players. Okay, there's a spreadsheet containing all the stats, which I'm not going to go into right now. This is just a general gameplay video that I had. Okay, next I want to talk about the leveling experience, which felt so distant even though it was like only last week. It was honestly enjoyable with only one instance where I joined a group. Okay, I think this particular dungeon, and it lagged so badly, it was literally unplayable. Okay, look at that. So it was literally unplayable, but other than that, it was mostly fine. Okay, quick mention, there's a lot of joyless monsters who never seen the cutscenes during my leveling process and wants to skip everything and spam skip in chat. Skip, and they start getting verbal and things like that. And now, the default settings for the game is to watch the cutscenes, and the reason why it needs to have 4 out of 4 skip is, believe it or not, it's intended by the game devs to watch it, to actually watch the cutscenes. Some people actually watch it multiple times. Personally, I watch one time, and if the others, intend to skip whatever, I'm gonna go ahead. But for the very first time, I'm gonna watch it. Okay, so I did thought of who should just play solo, and it's actually more of the skippers than the watchers. Anyway, there's just a small rant on those players, which I can't stand, okay? I only experienced like the rubber band issue just a couple of times so far. This one in the background is really, really bad because it spiked up to I think like 3000 or something MS, but that's like only one time out of the whole playing experience. So maybe that day, particularly last week, is something happened to the server or whatnot, but I don't know. I would say my connection here is relatively stable. I have a cable connection, though my router is in the living room, just to let you guys have a rough idea right there. So if you're having wireless connection, okay, it might be different, of course, but that's not the server's issue or anything so far, For ping wise, I have many players that come into the stream telling me 250 ms, 250 ms, I'm 200 right now. It's fine, but somewhere like 280 to 300 onwards might be an issue. Okay, so I took about 40 hours to level, which is considered really, really slow. So I believe you guys can do it much faster than I do, maybe 20, 30 hours. Towards mid to end of leveling the process, I kind of look up to some leveling guides, and yes, I should have resisted the temptation to pick up every single side quest and focus on the main story instead. Since to unlock the end game content, the story of how far you are does matters. You need to get to Northern, which is where most of us, so-called end game players are chilling at. Sorry to my friend Dara who told me to skip side quests. I was like just busy doing all the side quests. Though I really enjoy doing them, don't get me wrong, despite the few hours delay, which, I just couldn't resist, clicking on those exclamation mark. You just have to accept them and then just do it. So anyway, that's how it is. Okay, next one. Okay, so this is my favorite part right now. So the story so far was okay at best, okay, but it does get interesting after a while. I kind of want to know how it ends. I highly recommend that you try to take it slow, enjoy the environment, especially the cutscenes, which, I have not skipped so far, despite 3 out of 4 skips whenever you're in a group. But just, playing by itself, you can see the background is really nice. Since I think those were really, really well made, like how they made the background feels alive, and sometimes you can almost feel like yourself being part of the story. So this one, this whole scene is one of mine, or if not my favorite part of the story so far. Let me just go to skip a bit. Okay, so their camera works is 10 out of 10 as far as isometric view goes. Even Diablo and PoE could learn a thing or two from Lost Ark, and that's saying quite a bit because, you know, Diablo by Blizzard. And yeah, so the world design is beautiful and very different from, you know, different continents. It does varies as well. So I absolutely love how the combat feels. I don't know what they do, but it just kind of works, you know. Especially when all the enemies clump up together, you just mash those skills and bam, the effects just feel so damn satisfying every time. Okay, background is some gameplay by the official Lost Ark channel. Okay, those were like different characters. So I like this more than probably most of the MMOs or even ARPGs that I've played so far. It's just crack. Okay, this is probably the biggest reason myself and so many other players are enjoying the game right now. So if you tried it, don't love it, it's fine, guy. I guess it's just not for you. To be honest, before launch, I went to the website to check, you know, like the gameplay or combat, how it looks. For some reason, the skill kind of looks all the same. You know, that is until I got into the game and saw, okay, there's quite a big difference, okay? And even more so when I start making my outs and wow, okay, my butt just plays so differently from, say, the sorcerers, and sorcerers so different from my deathblade because physical, range, support, you know, that kind of thing. So when I wrote this last week, I said I wanted to make a sorceress out. And now I do have her and kind of thinking if I should main her instead. I'm still thinking. I still cannot really, you know, I still really like the Deathblade as well. I also mentioned I might just make another out soon, probably a gunslinger to get a feel of that class. So I might, you know, just do this right now. Okay, gunslinger in the background, still considering. Looking really good, really cool. So I feel like range might be a little bit more forgiving and having mobility skills is good. So besides only having the space bar to move around, you know, my sorcerers and bard only has like space bar, whereas some other class have multiple mobility skills. I think Gunslinger is one of them. Okay, so for C players, something about the game's programming on the client side, aka our side, that makes it feel like the ping doesn't really matter much, even though I'm quite sure in reality it does. But we don't feel the impact as much as, you know, when we are playing the game. The biggest one for PvE players are probably raids and Abyss Dungeon. Those matters a lot. Every little thing you do does matters. So with this ping, you know, you might want to get good more often than those players with like 10, 15 ms ping or so, you know, because reaction time, I feel like it probably does matter. You've got to match up with those things. So especially if you're quite a bad player like myself, okay, I died so many times in raids. It's not even funny. Not even gonna talk about Abyss dungeons, but I have been reading up on all the new Abyss dungeons and whatnot, and then start practicing on those, you know, recently just to improve. Of course, I even get to the point that I know I can start a new group, you know, teach them the mechanics, what to do, etc. And then when we got through it, it's really, really satisfying when a new bunch of people actually made it through. Like after multiple wipes and things like that. Okay, maybe you can also consider the Gun Lancer. Wait, okay, gonna go back. Okay, tanky boy, Gun Lancer. Okay, warrior. Yeah, this is what the one. Okay, Gun Lancer. Okay, so maybe you can also consider Gun Lancer since the class is probably the most forgiving class, as that class basically just soaks up damage like a sponge. You can probably ignore some of the mechanics as well, so it's kind of tempting also, really. Okay, next, a summary of all the PvE content I've done so far. The main stuff, okay? I'm gonna exclude like events and stuff for the PvE content. Okay, Guardian Raids. Okay, it looks and feels a lot like Monster Hunter, you know, for those of you who have played that. Okay, of course it's not, you know, like one-to-one exactly like that, but concept-wise, it feels like the same thing. Find a big monster, you have limited lives, total only 3, so your whole party, you know, you can be like one person die once, so total 3 death, and then that's it, okay? No more extra life, but you don't fail the quest, okay? And then have like limited item use. My pots, you can only use like 5 times and that's it. But you can actually refill if you go back to the starting zone, okay? That's one thing. Flare, there's also flare to find said monster you ping on the map. It's also, I feel like raids are intended to be difficult. Like every monsters have their own unique patterns and design. Basically, you just can't hack and slash and win unless you're overgeared, that kind of thing. Even so, you got to understand the game mechanics, the boss patterns. Ping wise, I don't feel it affects me that much. Okay, as much as what you need to do in the battle. The monsters, how they move, you can actually see certain patterns. The color glows, white glow, blue glow, etc. Whatever boss, they actually have like different mechanics. When to counter, if you're playing that kind of class, maybe paladin that got a counter, you just gotta be quick and react, or be be careful in advance after understanding how the boss moves, the pattern and all. Okay, so the next one I'll talk about is Chaos Dungeon. Okay, Chaos Dungeon right here. Okay, I love this, for how relaxing it is comparing with other PvP content, the raids, the Abyss Dungeons. Okay, you go in, hack and slash your way to victory, chill and relax with 3 other players or solo, whichever you prefer. If you want to min-max, probably, solo might be the way to go, but you can just, turn off your brain, switch off, rest, and then do some Chaos Dungeon, can actually repeat them. Earn some materials, daily for upgrades. Even with your out, you go in, funnel into your main, progress faster with your out. So no need to care much about ping, really. And then finally, we have Abyss Dungeon. Okay, thankfully I have like most of these on stream. Okay, I just stream, so if you are interested in stream, feel free to join them. I do them almost every day in the evening. This is the toughest PvE content that we now have, I believe. So thankfully or not thankfully, we can actually clear this once a week per character. So I feel like the boss itself is easier than the raids, whatever they fight. But some mechanics, there's like wipe mechanics. So for like example, this slime boss, you actually does need to know his pattern. Otherwise, you take big damage and die. But other than that, I feel like Abyss Dungeons, mostly you need to communicate and know the mechanics. There's wipe mechanics. You certain things you need to do as a team. Okay, you need to be as a team, maybe in order, or like certain players have to go certain places to do certain things. So everyone has a role, and you got to assign them. Otherwise, it might be a wipe. And then you can wipe multiple times until people quit. So that's the number one content. You need communication to learn, or else you also can look up some guides, preferably before you start the content. Watch some videos. I personally use Maxrow website, since I prefer text-based guides, and they also provide some small videos for all the important stuff, the patterns, the wipe mechanics, what the boss does, the boss skills, those kind of things. So after knowing the mechanics, of course, it's good to learn together with your teammates, be it someone or with parks. I did have a lot of fun whenever I meet new, fresh players attempting to learn and clear it. Yeah, I just wipe because one person, I cannot. You need actually enough DPS for certain fights. Okay, there's like rage timer. Well, there are obviously, impatient veterans as usual, and they just want to clear like their weeklies and whatnot, so it's fine. There are also players who refuse to learn or simply just can't follow what you guys are trying to tell them. And there are like so many different type of players. So I feel like this one does matters more than the others. But I feel like you really need to know the mechanics more than the ping itself. Like ping. Okay, right now I need to show you guys the entrance to the tower. Okay, so this is tower. I only tried this like one time so far. It was not bad, but I think you can only clear this like one time per character, and it's not repeatable for rewards or something. And I read that it's actually better for you to clear this on and out first, for the first clear reward, and then use your main to get leveling materials, to upgrade your characters, your gear, since this has like records of your roster and things like that. So too bad I already done it on my main, but I only clear like 9 floors, so it isn't too bad. So you get some cards, etc. But if you repeat, then you get something else. I think like all the blue stones, red stone, those kind of thing. Okay, and then last one, we don't have it yet. The hardest raid is called Legion raid. It's not out yet, so not gonna talk about it since not yet released. So I'm assuming it's like a beast meets Guardian raid, tough boss with tough mechanics and even more players, maybe 8 players, that kind of thing. Okay, right now I'm talking about PvP. Okay, again, I haven't done any real PvP. They have like PvP events, but I have not participated except the event island ones, which is right here. This actually feels like PUBG. Everyone go in, kill everyone. But except you get to respawn and get back to the fight. You die, you get back in, kill more people. And I think players with the most kills, probably kills, not damage, wins or something. Every participant do get something at the end, so it's not too bad and it's pretty fun so far. I really enjoy this kind of events. All the islands have like different events, so feel free to check them out on the calendar. On the top right, 15 minutes before the events, they'll let you know. See, and there's like first place, second place, third place. People know where they are. They'll hunt them down. To bring them back down. Competitive wise, I don't know, guys. Like for ping, I haven't tried it, but I really want to say skills probably matter more than the ping, but I can't say for sure. Of course, serious players might, blame the high ping for their losses, like certain split seconds decision. So if you're a PvP focused player, let me know how it goes. If you're enjoying the PvP aspect, if you think it's unplayable, let me know in the comments below as well. So let me go to my stronghold. Okay, so to answer some other miscellaneous questions here, okay, is it coming to C? Well, yes. Actually, we honestly don't know. And even if they were to release here in C, when? Probably many months after the game hype is gone and the dust settles, things like that. We probably still won't see it until a random day like, oh, it's finally releasing. Okay, you see the top left here. There's like scheduled calendar, so something's gonna happen in 10 minutes time. They'll let you know in-game time, etc. All these things. So I don't know, guys. This is just my guess, and I know how it feels. C getting shafted once again, as always. And after making videos for Lost Ark C, I kind of understand why, past couple of days, I just simply check the ad revenue I get from Lost Ark C videos versus my usual gacha ones. They're actually a lot lesser, at least half of the revenue, for the ad revenue. So it's actually crazy for what it is. Our sea money probably just can't fight the other regions, even with the power of our sea whales, that kind of thing. So another question I get is why not play in a Korea, Russia, JP server? A couple of reasons I could think of. Number one main reason, Steam. That's it. Okay? Some players generally like their games on Steam or, the interaction, etc. I've never even researched much on the servers, mainly because I only heard of this game only recently, like just maybe like few weeks before this game launches. So not even gonna lie, this game has been out for years, but I'm just casually checking. Oh, okay, so this game is coming out like in a couple of weeks or so, and then I'll just keep it on the radar. And like 1 week before it releases, then the hype starts to get in. And also for that reason, I don't want to hop onto a server with more obstacles like needing VPN constantly to play. Okay, you actually need VPN on to play on certain of those servers. Maybe all 3, I'm not really sure. But right now I do not need any VPN to play. So that's great. Okay, if it start implementing VPN to play, then second thoughts. Even though I already put in so much hours in this game. So I get that some of you had issues recently, you let me know in the comments. But for most players, the only time I use VPN was just to create an account and at most start the download. That's about it. On top of that, as most players who ask already knows, this game is old, well, sort of, a couple of years old. And that means even more chance of seeing high level outs running around in those servers versus new players like yourself, like myself. And then we are gonna learn all the abyss, dungeons, mechanics. So if you're playing in the older server, kind of good luck trying to learn with new players. There's like different funds in learning together as a relatively new game. In my opinion, this is like considered a new game here in a global C game. Even though there's like different servers. So the summary of them all, I guess, is the feel an experience of it. Some people like new things, even if it's not. That said, some players might still wait for C servers to come and hop on. It could add on together, as together with all the other servers, NA, EU, SA. It might just add another one tab to say, Asia, Southeast Asia, or maybe Oceania. So it could be that. And then the same reasons as players who played a while on Korean, Russian servers, you might even just hop onto these new servers right now. But if there's an option to, transfer your character, I would definitely do it. Even if it's paid $15 whatsoever, it's definitely better than, starting from scratch, the whole process, like whatever hours that you have already put in. I don't know, maybe some of those players might want to feel like they are ahead this time, or if they have not played for a long time, coming in fresh is a good feeling as well. So if you decided, okay, maybe we can try and see if you like it, great. I also made a video, actually most of you probably know me from that video, on how to get started with VPN and stuff. Okay, I'm just running around in my island. If you like what this video is about, leave a like, drop a sub as usual, those usual stuff. And most importantly, let me know what kind of video would you like to see next, since there's already a shit ton of guides out there already. So hopefully I could make something miraculously not done already. So I'm gonna end off right now, and thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Right now it's actually 250 ping. Like and sub the usual. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Most likely gonna be streaming. Okay.